Hey free to play gang, welcome back to another video. So today, or at least when you're seeing this recording, I will be 120 days old on my account. So yes, I am a beta player, so I have received a few questions like, how did I have so many of these relics? How did I build so many of these Espers so quickly? It's not quick, okay? So I've done this over a long period of time. And aside from that, I am also a little bit of a spender. So I have spent about 4 monthly tickets by now, and I think about 2 black card tickets. So yeah, you should definitely take note that I am definitely not a free-to-play player. I do use a little bit of expenses in order to create some content for you guys. So without further ado, I want to go through like some of my progress since day one, right? And how far I've come. And you can compare yourself with me. I think this can be a little bit exciting. And okay, so the reason why I'm doing this as well is I am officially opening myself up to full account takeovers. So that means if you would like me to review your account, which I'm sure a lot of you guys would like me to review your account, feel free to hit me up on Discord and I will get back to you as soon as I can, as soon as I have a schedule for you. So of course we will need to arrange stuff and like plan on like how I'm gonna take over the account. I need like your Google account and all that, right? So all those kinds of stuff. And the whole point of it is for me to review your account and try to fix some stuff for you, okay? So anyway, without further ado, let's take a look at how far I've come. So obviously I have fully resonated my Gabrielle. Some fun facts for you guys. When I started the game, Gabrielle was actually my beginner summon. And then I quickly PT'd her another 2 more times. So I have like wasted 3 net 5s just like that. So 3 legendaries that are just gone down the drain because I pulled Gabrielle. So these are the relics that I'm running on Gabrielle, right? So I'm using Ocean Waves on her. And now the reason why I'm using Ocean Waves on her is very simple. So I feel like Ocean Waves with decent speed, so she has like 220 something speed, 225. Ocean Waves with decent speed gives you a little bit more uptime on your skills as compared to just strictly Windwalker. Like let's say if I have like, I can probably push her to 280 speed on Windwalker, but I feel like with Ocean Waves, she's going to be more efficient that way, especially since the content that I'm using her with is going to be rather lengthy, like for example PvP, right? The tanky meta is quite a tedious run, and of course Temporal Tower and all that. So that's Gabrielle for me. She is obviously fully skilled up, and this is probably the best decision that I've ever made because you reduce her cooldowns that way and she has a little bit more uptime on her skills. Now obviously the second one is going to be Dona. So I obtained the first copy of him through the tower, right? So the first time I cleared Spatial Tower 100, that's when I obtained my first copy of Dona, and then I pulled 2 more dupes of him. Well done. Okay, but anyway, he is obviously fully skilled up because I feel like he is quite an important... Oh, he is not fully skilled up. Wow. Okay, but anyway, I think this is not that useful anyway. Yeah, but he is quite useful for me in the sense that I use him for solo Chronos 10 runs and all that kind of stuff like fodder farming. So I think he has been quite a good investment in my opinion, especially in PvP, right? So here are his relics. He's running Hades right now. Like I said before in the Chloe video previously, he is not built extremely well. As you can see, he only has 80% crit, so he needs another 20% more crit, which is gonna be really hard to find, and his crit damage is also pretty low. So my goal is to have like 300% crit rate minimally. I think this is like way too little, or in fact the best is to have like plus 200% over here. So I am very far below whatever that I need. So yeah, here's my Dona, and I hope I cover all the relics, but anyway, let me just go through this really quickly again in case I missed any. Okay, so that's my Dona. He has 53% resistance. I hope to push this up to at least 80, 90 or even 100% resist, and that should be it. And now Jinyu Yao. Okay, so I actually got a dupe of her as well, which I feel like is kind of a waste. I feel like Jinyu Yao don't really need dupes because she's really good on her own, and having more dupes just make her a little bit more tanky, which is not necessarily that important because her HP is already so high. Okay, so she is fully skilled up. So fun fact, she's actually the second Esper that I fully skilled up, which I regret, but now I do not regret it anymore because I use her in practically all the endgame content, right? So I'm running her with Windwalker, which I feel like is the best way to build her. So previously people would build her with Astral Witchcraft, but now that Astral Witchcraft is I will say it's a nerf. So now that Astral Witchcraft has been nerfed, it's no longer that useful for her anymore because now Astral Witchcraft just grants your allies speed up, right? But the thing is, she's the one who needs the AP push. So because she's not having that, she's not actually going to be able to use her third skill so quickly. And in fact, what Astral Witchcraft would do to her is to let your allies move a little bit faster and overtake her, but they're just going to waste their AP, right? Because they're just going to like awaken through the stun and waste a turn, where I would need her to use this skill instead. So I feel like Astral Witchcraft is really not that good anymore, but I do feel like Windwalker is extremely good for her right now. And obviously, I'm running her with Avatara because I feel like her counter attacks, which have a 75% chance to stun, is going to be a really good thing. Plus, she also increases her AP by 25% if the target has debuffs, which means that if you counter attack on a debuff target, she's going to gain 25% AP. That's quite dangerous. And let's move on to Tricky over here. So he's currently the Esper that I'm focusing on right now. As you can see, I'm just lacking 2 skill ups over here. One being super important, the trigger chance up is really important. And another one over here, which is just the damage, right? So hopefully I skip this. Am I even able to upgrade him right now? I am not. Okay, yeah, but he is currently the Esper that I'm working on right now. And here are his relics, right? So I'm running him with Zeus. I feel like Zeus is going to be the best way to build Tricky because the moment he strips one buff, he has a 20% chance to land a stun, which is huge in my opinion, really huge because he does a lot of multi-hits. And in this game, unlike like other games that you might be more familiar with, Zeus actually procs on multi-hits. So his first skill hits twice and his third skill hits 3 times. So he has a lot of opportunity to proc Zeus. So I feel like Zeus is irreplaceable on him. Ocean Waves is not bad, but I feel like Zeus is going to be the ultimate goal for him. Now next, this is Tungsten. I fully regretted making him level 60 because I have tried using him with some of my really good DPS relics, right? Like, I'm sure you guys already know that some of my relics are really good. But even with those DPS relics, I don't really see him performing that well. It could be due to the fact that I do not have really strong Hades relic sets. So he's not going to be so useful in my opinion without Hades, or like even with like the strongest DPS relic sets on him, I don't feel like he's that good. But of course some people are going to say that that's because he's supposed to be built tanky, he's supposed to be more of like a bruiser, so he's not supposed to go full DPS. I can kind of agree with that. But yeah, maybe because I'm lacking relics, that's why I'm not using him. But I don't really feel like I would ever build him because I just feel like there are so many better Espers out there. There are epic and below, right? Epic and rare Espers. I think they are so much better than him. But this is obviously just my opinion. And I mean, I have Liling, and I feel like Liling is a little bit more comprehensive. His skills scales off the enemy's max HP, granted capped by your own attack power. But he does true damage and all that, so I feel like he is slightly better, right? His AoE attacks do a little bit more damage than Tungsten as well, and his single target hit is like is really quite big, right? So here are the relics that I'm running him right now. This is not permanent, by the way. I'm just playing around with him right now. So I have like attack, crit rate, attack, and attack. Oh, HP. Okay, so I have crit rate, attack, and HP. So the reason why you need HP is so that you can survive a little bit better in Purgatory 12. I haven't actually tried using him in Purgatory 12 to be honest, but I think he should be able to do it, but he's not going to do it super fast because even though he has 100% crit rate, he doesn't have a ton of crit damage, which is very, very sad. Now, moving on to Clara, unfortunately, she is a new Esper for me. Okay, she's like my most recent legendary Esper, and hopefully Ollie will be the next one. But I haven't had the opportunity to skill her up, so I feel like giving her the skill up over here is going to be super crucial. She needs that cooldown reduction so that she cuts her heal a little bit more frequently, because her heal over here, this is the one that makes her super powerful, right? And I mean, it stacks because of her passive over here, right? So her healing itself is not that good, but because of the passive, wow, super good. So here are the relics that I'm running her with. Ocean Waves, I feel like it's the more appropriate way if you're running a tanky comp. If you're running a speedy comp, then I think Windwalker is going to be a little bit better because you want to take the first turn. But if you're running a tanky comp, you want your third skill to go up as many times as possible, right? So I think Ocean Waves is going to be the way to go, and obviously I'm running her with HP speed because she needs to be very fast, and I feel like this speed is definitely not fast enough. Ideally, I think if you want to be competitive, you would need somewhere around 230 speed on Ocean Waves, yeah, just to be competitive. So 206 is definitely not enough, and this is also adding the fact that I do not even have my cooldown reduced over here. But yeah, so this would be my Clara. I'm pretty happy with her resist though, 60 something percent, that's pretty good. And here's my Esanath. So like I said before, I feel like Esanath has dropped a little bit in the tier for me because I feel like she's less useful in general content. So I have obviously fully resonated her, and a lot of you guys are going to ask how. So the way I did it was, she was previously the Ripple Dimension Esper that was before Dahlia, right? So Dahlia actually took over her, and if you're going to ask whether do I think that it's like a cycle, or is there going to be a new Esper next time, I do not know. Okay, honestly I do not know, but chances are I don't think so, because Esanath was actually a Ripple Esper, but at the same time she could be summoned from the gacha as well. So they have always had her in the gacha, or at least I think that's the case. Maybe not, right? Maybe not. But anyway, I don't necessarily think that they're going to replace Dahlia, because I feel like Dahlia is an excellent Esper that I think everyone can benefit from. She's not overpowered, in my opinion. She's not overpowered. but she's really good. So I think that's why they're going to keep her for probably the longest of time, right? She has like a defense lead in Ritual and Sonic Miracles, which is quite useless. And her skills, honestly, I feel like previously her Lotus Steps was not bad, right? Because it actually healed. Okay, you know what? Honestly, you guys don't even know, so I don't really need to talk about her. But anyway, Lotus Mark and her heal alone, I don't think she has a lot of use. Because number one, at the state of the game where I'm at right now, I don't really need healers all that much, except for PvP and maybe some temporal stages. I don't really need healers all that much, and she is just like a damage mitigator with a little bit of heals. That's not a big deal in my opinion. But, okay, so Louis, he's actually the character that I'm building right now. So, I've only upgraded him once. Unfortunately, he went to Phoenix Arrows. I would like his Sky Shot to be at least until level 6. I do not want to reduce his cooldown. And I've talked about the reasons why I don't want to reduce his cooldown. You can refer to the Louis video that I did before. That should explain why I do not want his cooldown to be reduced. But still, I kind of need his damage to be increased and the trigger chance. Okay, you know what? Honestly, he can stop at level 5. I think the trigger chance is not so important. I just need the damage to go up. He's really good here though, so increases the allies' attack in Ritual and Sonic Miracles by 30%. This is really good if you want to do like super fast runs and you need that little bit of attack power to clear out some of the waves instantly. This is where he becomes really, really powerful. So he's using some of my best relics right now in terms of War Machine. So as you can see on the screen, he has a lot of crit rate and a lot of crit damage. So he, you understand why he has such good relics in just a bit, right? I will explain in just a bit. But here's Sander. I recently made a video on him and he's really good. I feel like he's one of the best Espers in the game, but he's also one of the hardest Espers to build. Mine is obviously fully skilled up and he does have a speed lead, which is one of the reasons why he is so good. I would say the mid game, eventually I feel like you're going to go back into attack percentage leader buff because you're going to be able to outspeed the boss and probably AP control him, so you don't necessarily need speed lead so much towards the end game, I think. But anyway, this is what I'm building him with, so I'm giving him as much speed as I can because his attacks all skill of speed. And obviously I'm giving him 100% crit rate and as much crit damage as I can, and this is honestly not the best that I've seen. I've seen one of my friends, right, he has more crit damage and a little bit less speed, but he is on Ocean Waves, which is insane. And now next we have Loyans. Okay, so I actually really liked using him, right? So he's fully skilled up as well. I really enjoyed using him for the time that I did. Unfortunately, I don't really see him to be that useful for me right now because like if I'm talking about height in Temporal Tower, I can absolutely destroy heights in the Temporal Tower. I have the attack power to do so. So I don't necessarily need to abuse his third skill to defeat the heights. But if you guys need something to defeat heights, which I hear that a lot and very frequently, please use Loyan if you have him, okay? So take a look at Fate, right? You reduce the HP ceiling of the enemies by 30%. This debuff can apply on heights because it's not technically a debuff, it's just it's a status effect. I don't really know how you call it, but there isn't an icon on top of height, so this can apply. Same goes for AP controls as well. So I think Loyan is going to be an excellent choice against like the flaws with height. That's an instant 30% HP gone. So it's kind of like true damage in my opinion. There you go. Yeah, and this is my Chloe. I recently made a video on her, so I don't think I need to talk too much about her, although I can just show you the relics really quickly over here. You can stop the video anytime. And yeah, pretty good relics in my opinion. Unfortunately, it's War Machine. I would prefer it if it was Hades. Okay, and this is my Lin Xiao. She's a really good Esper. I mean, she's one of the best Espers in the game. And I'm building her with War Machine, although I would feel like Hammer of Thor, that would be a lot better for her than War Machine in my opinion, because Hammer of Thor gives a little bit more stat, that's one. And secondly, she basically just needs a lot of crit damage, right? I mean, look at her attack. Her attack is sick, dude. It's like increase of like almost 280%. I mean, I can't do the math right now, but it's about there. And her crit damage is also pretty sick, but I think she can have a little bit more crit damage over there. And I would like to build her a little bit faster as well, so that she constantly takes the first turn among like some of my Espers, so it's going to be a little bit easier for me to do team building. So that's why I have her a little bit faster. And next, Mona, like I said before, she is good for the early and mid game for fodder farming, but she loses value in the end game in terms of fodder farming because there are other ways for you to fodder farm, right? So like for me right now, I'm using Dona to solo K10. That's one way that I can fodder farm, right? And then quickly moving on to Hengre. Okay, so Hengre is probably one of my favorite Espers from the early to the mid and even to the end game until I put Clara. In fact, I feel like she can be a little bit better than Clara in some sense because like let's say if you stun lock Clara, she's not going to be able to do anything. But for Hengre, right, even if she's stun locked, her passive will still proc all the time, which is pretty good. So she heals for a small amount, but importantly, you can give a recovery buff if the ally has less than 50% HP, and you also dispel 1 debuff on them every time she takes a turn, which is, in my opinion, really insane. She doesn't even need to do anything, she can just remain stunned. So her first skill is like a 100% chance to remove buffs, which is very good, and her third skill is very, very powerful. It removes all debuffs. And also, if you really need a HP lead, which I don't think is going to be the case because you're probably going to have Gabrielle anyway, she is also good for that. And here is her relics that I'm running her with. I have to fill this up with some ocean waves, right? But I guess I'll just do it whenever I have the time later on. So she's pretty good with ocean waves, so very similar to Clara. I feel like she works really well with ocean waves. And the reason being, she wants her third skill to be up as much as she can, or rather as frequently as possible, right? And moving on to Catherine, she is pretty good, but I recently decided to remove all the relics on her because I feel like she don't have a lot of use for me because I have Jinyu for PvP and just Temporal Tower, because Jinyu can remove buffs, remove debuffs, and she can stun as well, so I think she's a little bit better than Catherine in my opinion. Although Catherine on Astral Witchcraft is really, really broken. So I don't have a strong use for her right now, not even for Fafnir, I think. So even for Fafnir, I don't even think I will use her. But that's because I have options, right? And this is my Longmian. He is probably one of my most favorite AP manipulators and stunners and slows and all that kind of stuff. So he's really good. He's a very good CC character. I think he's probably one of the best crowd controllers in the game right now. And obviously I have him fully skilled up for obvious reasons, right? And okay, so I'm running him with Ocean Waves instead of Windwalker because I'm not necessarily needing him to be super fast. I just need him to use his skills a lot more frequently, and damn, I just realized that he has a ton of speed. That's pretty insane. Yeah, but anyway, I'm running him with Apollo, even though I feel like Apollo is not necessarily the best set for him. I think Adamantine is going to be a little bit better, but I just want to ramp his accuracy up a little bit more, and this is what I am just currently trying to work with. But yeah, if you do watch my Temporal Tower videos, you'll understand very quickly that Ocean Waves is extremely powerful for him. Because if you take a look at his skills, right, the cooldowns are generally quite short. So there's 3 turns over here and 4 turns over here. Yeah, 4 turns. So with Ocean Waves, he can proc more skill cooldowns more frequently, especially since he's so fast. So he's gonna proc it more often, I guess, in terms of like relativity. So he's gonna have his second and third skill up more frequently, which I think is an excellent way for you to cycle crowd controls, especially in the Temporal Tower. And the next Esper that I'm going to talk about is going to be Drew. This is going to blow your mind. I have actually fully unequipped him, and this is the reason why my Louis is fully equipped with really strong relics. That's because I have decided, and this was quite sad, but I have decided to strip Drew completely free because I feel like Drew, he's only really good in K10 and A10. And up to the end game, I think he's possibly useful in PvP, but I have not actually figured out a way to fully utilize him for PvP. So as such, I decided to replace him with Louis, who is also really good in A10 and K10. And in fact, I think Louis is slightly more reliable, and Louis also has a Seer debuff. And my Lin Xiao already has a defense break, so I didn't want to stack defense breaks in the unfortunate case that I do stack defense breaks, right? So at least now I have the opportunity to have defense breaks and Seer debuffs from Louis' first skill, which I feel like that carries a little bit more value than just running Drew. But with that said, I do feel like Drew is still an excellent Esper, and you should still continue building him. If you have not actually built him to 6 stars, definitely build him to 6 stars. He's going to be very useful for a long time. Now next, I have Tang Yoon. He is one of my favorite Espers as well, especially for the Temporal Tower and Cube Miracle. That's where I use him the most. He's fully skilled up, obviously, and I'm running him with Ocean Waves, but I would highly recommend that you run him with like War Machine, Hades, or even the Thor relic sets. So I feel like he has the potential to do a lot of damage, and I don't necessarily feel like he needs to have so much speed, but I'm only using him with so much speed because I use him with Fafnir. But to be honest, I don't really farm Fafnir all that much, even though I should. So I might actually replace this this relic over here with like attack percentage or something like that, but I do not have that for the time being. Now moving on to Chalmers, he is going to be my boss killer for K10, right? For A10, I haven't really found room for him so far, because my team is kind of optimized right now, so there is no way that I can put Chalmers in there right now. So Chalmers, he's one of the few Espers in this game that needs War Machine, so he cannot use Thor, or at least I feel like he doesn't scale that well with Thor because his skills they are kind of like capped because of his attack power. So he needs a ton of attack power and as much crit damage as you can allow, but I think attack power is still where it's more important because that creates the foundation of your skills, right? So your skills all rely on his attack power being high in order for you to multiply that way. So I feel like attack power should always come first, followed by crit damage. Alright, so my phone is gonna die, so I better finish this up. Anyway, 2 more Espers, right? Berenice and then Suhua, and that's about it. That's pretty much all the Espers that I've built so far. Fully maxed out abilities, I feel like she's really good in a lot of content, and I've talked about her so many times. Berenice is an excellent Esper, except that she's not going to be super useful in Chronos and APEP. Okay, she's more useful in Chronos, but not so much in APEP. Anyway, so she's going Windwalker and Avatara, pretty obvious reasons. So she's useful in Fafnir, that's why she's built this way, speedy and counter attack. Now moving on to Suhua, this is the last Esper for today's video, and I'm sure you guys are really sick of hearing my voice for 20 over minutes right now. But this will be the last one, right? Okay, so she's really good in terms of buffing and in terms of like healing. So she makes an excellent pair with Chloe because she carries a lot of buffs on her. She has attack up, defense up, invincibility and recovery all in one kit. So that makes her really good to use with Chloe. And obviously I'm building her with a lot of speed and adamantine because yeah, why not, right? I mean, ideally, I don't really see that there is any other kit that you want to build her with. I mean, you can go Ocean Waves, that's for sure. But for this slot over here, I feel like Avatara has very little use. So I think Adamantine is probably the way to go. But anyway, that's my account review for the past 4 months of me playing on the dot. Okay, so 120 days. Here are my accomplishments so far. So hopefully you guys can estimate like just how distant away or how near you are from me. It's honestly just a few Espers that I built though. It's not a whole ton of them, right? So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, it really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now, if you want to see more of such videos, do let me know. Or if you want me to do an account review for you, do let me know as well. You can contact me on Discord where it's a little bit more personal and private. And obviously, I'm not just gonna like look at your Espers, right? I'm gonna figure out how I can like upgrade them and maybe use them to the right way that you probably did not follow or something like that. I know I'm not making a lot of sense right now. But yeah, anyway, do let me know if you want to have an account takeover, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, it really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. I know I said this already. Anyway, this has been Daddy Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.